Good morning, kiddos. Today we are going to be talking about 1.6a, and we have two new fun terms that we can make geometry problems with. Okay, so our first thing that we are going to learn is called a linear pair. Okay, we're still talking about angles. So a linear pair is when we have a straight angle, and remember, a straight angle is like a line. It's 180 degrees, okay? And we have a third ray coming up somewhere, and we have two angles. So we have angle 1 and angle 2. All right? So it is a pair of angles that form a line. So let's look what a problem would look like using a linear pair. Okay? So this problem says that two angles form a linear pair, kind of like our drawing. We have two angles and they form a straight line or a linear pair. And the measure of one angle is twice the measure of another angle. Okay, before we dive into that, we know we're talking about a linear pair. And linear pairs are two angles that form a straight line. So we don't know what equals 180, but we know it does equal 180 degrees, okay? We also know we have two angles, okay? So let's just name them angle A and angle B, okay? Angle A and angle B. Now we also know that the measure of one of the angles is twice as big as the other one, okay? So let's write a little formula like this. Angle A is equal to twice of angle B, okay? Ooh. So angle A is equal to 2 times angle B, okay? Angle A is equal to 2 times of angle B. Now let's rewrite this first equation, but instead of writing angle A, let's write 2 times angle B, okay? So we have 2 times angle B plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees, all right? So if we look at this like a variable, so let's use a variable instead of the letter B, okay? So let's just use X, all right? So we have 2 of angle B, so 2 times X, plus angle B, or X, all right? So we know how to solve this, they're just variables. 2X plus 1X, that gives us 3X, and that's still equal to 180. Since we have some multiplication between our coefficient and our variable, we are going to divide by our coefficient once on each side of the equal sign. Multiply by 3, divide by 3, those cancel, leaving us with just a positive 1x that we don't have to write the 1 for. And 180 divided by 3 is 60, okay? So now let's figure out which one is 60 and which one is twice as big, okay? So let's see what we plugged in X for. We plugged in X for just angle B, okay? So we know that angle B, or the second angle or whatever, is equal to 60 degrees, all right? Angle A is 2 times angle B, okay? So 60 times 2 is 120. So we have angle A is equal to 120 degrees. And if we check that with our first original trial equation, 60 plus 120 does give you 180, so this would be a linear pair. The next new term that we have is called vertical angles. And we use this a lot, so we're gonna have a funny little motion to go with it. We're just gonna cross our arms like this, okay? So vertical angles. All right, so vertical angles happen when we have two lines that intersect, okay? So last chapter we said that when two lines intersect, they intersect at one point. Remember that? Now, since we're talking about angles, vertical angles are always congruent, okay? And vertical angles are on opposite sides, okay? So like when we cross our arms, one's going to be on this side between my hand and this elbow, and the other one's going to be between this hand and this elbow, and they are congruent, okay? So I'm gonna put a strike on either side. So these are congruent because they are vertical angles. The top and the bottom are also congruent because they are also vertical angles. If we were to turn it, it would look just like our crossed arms. Okay, so this problem, we have a picture with 4 different angles, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. And our first problem wants us to name all of the linear pairs, okay? So we're looking for lines that create a straight line, all right? So this right here is a straight line. This line going horizontally. Angle 1 and angle 2 are 2 angles that share a side and form a straight line. So a pair of the linear pair would be angle. So one linear pair would be angle 1 and angle 2. Okay, this is just an ampersand. You can write the word and or do that weird 8 looking thing. I don't know how to draw it. This symbol is just an ampersand. It just means and. If you want to use the word and, that's fine too. Okay, let's see if we have any more linear pairs. All right, so we know that this is a straight line, but the only angle we have on this straight line is an angle 4. So it doesn't have a matching pair, so we're gonna leave that alone. We know that this is also a straight line, and angle 2 and angle 3 are on that, okay? So another linear pair is angle 3 and angle 2. Okay, number 2 asks us to find the vertical angles. Remember, we have that symbol. We're looking for 2 angles that are on opposite sides of the intersecting lines, okay? So, I don't see a number over here for 4. I don't see a number over here for angle 2, but angle 1 and angle 3 are on opposite sides of these 2 intersecting lines. So that is a pair of vertical angles, angle 1 and angle 3.